AP brand is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Janine Glad is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
Patience is key in these early moments, Carol, but I have a feeling Janine Glad is going to make it count.
The adrenaline is pumping. Jacobus Besson is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. Tommy Glad is on their out lap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Kenneth Ella is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. That's the out lap done for Kenneth Ella. They'll now look to focus on their first flying lap. This is what it's all about. Janine Glad is putting everything they've got into this qualifying session.
They certainly are. This is shaping up to be a great performance by Janine Glad.
Kenneth Ella will be looking to use this first hot lap to set a solid time in the standings.
Yes, they are. It takes a special kind of driver to thrive under this kind of pressure.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Ernest Heather crosses the start-finish line at the end of their out lap. Duold Lambert will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session. You can feel the tension building. Ernest Heather is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. Ernest Heather has completed their first flying lap in 1:03.568. JP Brand is up minus 0.31. Ernest Heather is up minus 0.57. Ernest Heather will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower, they need to drive smooth and smart.
Jacobus Besson is looking for ways to improve their consistency. Ernest Heather is up minus 0.16.
Well, Carol, it seems like Ernest Heather has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
Tommy Glad will be happy having put themselves into fifth in this qualifying session. Mike Ramsey is trying to find that extra performance.
Well, Carol, they'll need to find those extra tenths of a second by pushing just a little bit harder on the braking and carrying more speed through the corners.
Dewald Lambert is up minus 0.2. Dewald Lambert will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session. Impressive display by Ernest Heather, currently sitting in position 2. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
Absolutely, Carol. Ernest Heather has put in a remarkable effort to secure second. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
JP Brand has positioned themselves well in third during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
You hit the nail on the head, Carol. JP Brand's current position of third is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
JP Brand will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
Safety car. Speed 100 km per hour.
And in the second position, it's none other than Dewald Lambert.
Big things expected for Dewald Lambert today.
Ernest Heather is holding down the fort in third place.
Ernest Heather is looking on for a strong result.
Joni Geldenhuys is going to be starting from fourth.
Another good start for the Italian driver.
Our fifth place starter, Tommy Glad, is poised to make a move towards the front.
Putting that Opel Vectra STW into prime position for the race.
Sitting in sixth is the green flag is out and the drivers are off. You know what, Carl? This is what it's all about.
This is where the real action begins. The drivers will be jostling for position and trying to gain any advantage they can.
Absolutely. It's a crucial part of the race, and the drivers will need to be on top of it to make it through here unscathed.
Speed 100 km/h.
The first sector is always a bit of a nail-biter. With so many cars bunched together, one small mistake can be disastrous.
They'll need to keep their wits about them and stay focused if they want to come out of this section unscathed. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Simspeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
Like gladiators they enter Carol, but instead of lions and swords our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
As the tires come up to temp, their available grip is changing, and the drivers that manage this transition best are likely to make progress through the field. Impressive driving from Tommy Glad, who has managed to extend their lead over JP Brand. They are walking away at this point, and JP Brand will have to wait to fight another day. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Peter Geldenhuys, who is currently in P9. But Kenneth Ella is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Peter Geldenhuys.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Peter Geldenhuys in ninth determined to catch up. But we know Kenneth Eller isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Peter Geldenhuys is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Oh, this is getting intense. Jacobus Basson is just behind Kenneth Eller.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them valuable time and the position.
Talk about being caught in the middle. Jacobus Basson is sandwiched between their rivals. Jano van der Westhuizen 0.1 seconds behind and Kenneth Eller 0.2 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on.
Couldn't agree more, Carol. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind create a dynamic situation for Jacobus Basson. They must carefully manage their position while being mindful of potential overtaking opportunities.
What do you think, Carl? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Carol. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Ernest Heather trying to find the perfect opportunity to hold that thought. Hold the phone. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. Peter Geldenhuys is giving it their all as they chase down Jacobus Basson in P5.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Tommy Glad trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Kenneth Eller. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Kenneth Eller is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Tommy Glad in P10 doing everything they can to catch up.
A brilliant maneuver from Tommy Glad, who has just moved up the field. Things are heating up as Peter Geldenhuys tries to close the gap to Jacobus Basson.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Peter Geldenhuys needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
The tension is building as JP Brand trails behind Jacobus Basson. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Jacobus Basson is pushing to maintain the lead, while JP Brand is working to close in and challenge for the position.
That's right, JP Brand in 7th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Jacobus Basson is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
This is getting exciting. JP Brand is looking for any gap that might. Braking update. Looks like that's a mistake from Kenneth Eller. This could be costly. The race is really heating up. JP Brand is hunting down Jacobus Basson with everything they've got. Braking update. Looks like that's a mistake from Kenneth Eller. This could be costly. Jacobus Basson wants to get into JP Brand's slipstream. Jacobus Basson is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.68 seconds down. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are gonna need to look after their tyres and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tyres wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
The race is heating up as Janine Glad in 7th closes in on Jacobus Basson. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Geldenhuis has Peter Geldenhuis is in the pits. Stop the press. Peter Geldenhuis has It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. I would not bet on either racer at this point, as it's too close to call.
Superb driving from JP Brand, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Janine Glad will need to stay focused and stop the press. Peter Geldenhuis has pulled into the pits. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Janine Glad trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Jacobus Basson. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Janine Glad tries to reel in Jacobus Basson. But Jacobus Basson is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Janine Glad needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Jacobus Basson and move up the field.
The race is heating up as Kenneth Ella in 8th closes in on Mike Ramsey. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
Absolutely, Kenneth Ella in 8th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Well, it doesn't look like Janine Glad is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Jacobus Basson. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Janine Glad as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. Great driving from Janine Glad, who has just gained a place and moved up to 4th.
You can't argue with results like that. Janine Glad is really making their mark on this race.
A strong showing from Duald Lambert, who is currently 1st.
Definitely Carroll, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
The gap between Jacobus Basson and Janine Glad is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Jacobus Basson to even allow Janine Glad to get a look in. Ernest Heather has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Duald Lambert. The first expect their only hope at this point is that Duald Lambert makes an error.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Duald Lambert.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Janine Glad, who is currently in P4. But Jacobus Besson is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Janine Glad.
This is where experience comes into play. Jacobus Besson has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Janine Glad is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
This one's going to be tough. Dewald Lambert is getting their elbows out, and there may not be enough time left for Ernest Heather to make a move.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Ernest Heather to make up that gap, especially with Dewald Lambert defending so well.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Janine Glad in fourth chases after Jacobus Besson. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Janine Glad needs to find a way to close the gap. It looks like Joni Geldenhuys is pushing hard to catch up to Kenneth Ella. That's not a small gap, but Joni Geldenhuys has what it takes to challenge for the position. It's a battle of wills out there, with Mike Ramsey trying to outsmart and outmaneuver JP Brand. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Mike Ramsey in 7th determined to catch up. But we know JP Brand isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate, Mike Ramsey is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
The delta between Ernest Heather in second and Dewald Lambert remains over a second, but Ernest Heather is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 14 minutes left in this session to make that happen. The pursuit is on. Janine Glad is closing the gap on Jacobus Besson, determined to claim P3.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Can Janine Glad close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
It looks like Dewald Lambert has found another gear in the last sector of the race. And there it is. Dewald Lambert has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Dewald Lambert remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack.
Some might say that second place is the first loser, but Ernest Heather certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result. Impressive drive from Jacobus Besson to claim the final spot on the podium.
What a drive! Well. The first lap can be chaotic, and avoiding any major incidents is key. Drivers need to be alert and ready to react to any sudden changes on the track.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. It's a steady race for Janine Glad so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus.
That's the mark of a good driver. Janine Glad is staying focused on their own race and not getting distracted.
It's looking good for Janine Glad, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Jacobus Besson. Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there.
Spot on, Carol. This constant back and forth battle is keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. One small mistake could have severe consequences for any of the—
Stop the press. Peter Geldenhuys has pulled into the pits. No room for error here. Tommy Glad is breathing down the neck. Perfect chance to make their move.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
Big gains for Tommy Glad as they move up the field, leaving Kenneth Ella behind.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. Tommy Glad needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
Three cars, three different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move.
Absolutely thrilling, Carol. The level of car control these drivers possess is exceptional. They're towing the line between maximum speed and maintaining control, making for a captivating spectacle.
Mike Ramsey is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Mike Ramsey is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Ernest Heather.
They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess.
Couldn't agree more, Carol. This wheel-to-wheel racing is what fans live for. The determination and tenacity shown by these drivers to gain even the smallest advantage is simply awe-inspiring.
The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between these three drivers. I can only hope the netcode keeps up with their fearlessness. A solid performance from JP Brand, who is holding down first.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
This is what racing is all about, folks. Three fearless drivers pushing their machines to the absolute limit, inches apart.
No doubt about it, Carol. The battle for that same piece of tarmac is intense. The sparks flying and the close quarters racing showcase the incredible skill and nerve of these drivers.
The gap between Jacobus Besson and Janine Glad is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Jacobus Besson to even allow Janine Glad to get a look in.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners. The delta between Dewald Lambert in 5th and Tommy Glad remains over a second, but Dewald Lambert is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 5 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
It's going to be tough for Dewald Lambert, as Tommy Glad seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Dewald Lambert pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
The tension is building as Janine Glad trails behind Jacobus Besson. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Jacobus Besson is pushing to maintain the lead, while Janine Glad is working to close in and challenge for the position.
This is where experience comes into play. Jacobus Besson has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Janine Glad is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
The pressure is on, but these drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing.
Absolutely, Carol. The energy in the crowd is electric, and it's no wonder why. These drivers are leaving it all on the track, fighting tooth and nail for victory. It's anyone's guess who will come out on top.
Ernest Heather has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with JP Brand. I expect their only hope at this point is that JP Brand makes an error.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Ernest Heather is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Janine Glad will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
That's right, Janine Glad in 7th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Jacobus Besson is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Dewald Lambert as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Janine Glad trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Jacobus Besson. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
Absolutely, Janine Glad in 7th will need to be patient.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Dewald Lambert is closing in on Tommy Glad. Superb driving from Dewald Lambert, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Disappointing for Dewald Lambert, they now find themselves in 4th. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Jacobus Besson trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Janine Glad. The gap is over a second, but every So far they are 0.93 seconds down. A setback for JP Brand, who has just been passed. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Jacobus Besson trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Janine Glad. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
This is where experience comes into play. Janine Glad has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Jacobus Basson is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
It's looking good for JP Brand, sitting in first.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Dewald Lambert, who is currently in P4. But Mike Ramsey is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Dewald Lambert.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Mike Ramsey is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Dewald Lambert in P4 doing everything they can to catch up.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Tommy Glad in fourth chases after Mike Ramsey. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in hold up, breaking info. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. Dewald Lambert is running fifth. They are trying to catch Mike Ramsey.
The mental game is just as important here. Dewald Lambert must keep their cool while putting pressure on Mike Ramsey.
Heartbreak for Mike Ramsey, as they slip down the field. A brilliant maneuver from Mike Ramsey, who has just moved up the field.
You can't argue with results like that. Mike Ramsey is really making their mark on this race.
The gap between Mike Ramsey and Dewald Lambert is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Mike Ramsey to even allow Dewald Lambert to get a look in.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Dewald Lambert is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
A solid performance from JP Brand, who is holding down first.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and JP Brand has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
It looks like Ernest Heather has found another gear in the last sector of the race. The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for JP Brand. Impressive second place finish for Ernest Heather. Well done to Tommy Glad for securing third place on the podium.
Great job bringing it home.
Mike Ramsey, Dewald Lambert, Janine Glad, and Jacobus Basson in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Finishing 8th is Kenneth Ella.